Hi, this is Jen Rubin, editor-in-chief of the Contrarian. Delighted to have back with us one of our favorite guests, Senator Jacky Rosen from Nevada. Welcome, Senator.
Thank you for having me. I am so glad to be here and always just such a pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, the government has shut down because the Republicans insist upon taking health care away from 14 million people or so. Are you surprised that they have been so intransigent about a position that is so unpopular?
Well, I normally wouldn't correct everyone's statistics, but it's more than 14 million people. It's probably 24 million people are going to drop off right away. And I want to let everybody know this is that every single person who has health insurance, everyone in America, their premiums are about to maybe double. So this is not a them problem. This is an all of us issue. Healthcare is an all of us issue. And this is something that the president and my Republican colleagues are not listening to. My dad, sadly no longer with us, used to say, he'd be very thrilled. I quote him all the time now, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything, because a diagnosis can change your life in an instant like this. You go in with the pain, you come out with something horrific or an accident. Things happen. And the anxiety that people feel of not being able to afford their insurance, not being able to get their medication, this is an all of us problem, every single American citizen. And I will share, I was at in Northern Nevada talking with a woman who works as a health navigator, one of those folks who helps people find insurance on the exchange. And young woman in her 30s. And she said a woman came in, a mom, husband, family. She works. She gets health care through work, but she can't afford to pay the extra that it would be to put her whole family on. So
Right.
she came to the navigator to say, how can I put the rest of them on the exchange and take care of them? Now, the navigator said to me, you want to see, this is just one story. She said, you want to see what I do every day? She said, bring a case of Kleenex, because every story is another person who is worried and scared, is working, can't cover it. This is an all of us problem. And the Republicans, they are tone deaf. They are not listening. They're not paying attention. All of it to give tax breaks to Elon Musk, who's just dying to be the first trillionaire. Well, people are going to die for him to be the first trillionaire, and I'm going to stand up and fight for everyone's health care. This is an all of us problem.
Now, a lot of people are going to start getting their notifications on their healthcare renewal. Do you think that will awaken at least some of the Republicans when they start hearing from their constituents what's going on here? My healthcare premium just tripled or doubled, or
I don't know what the hell's going to wake them up. I can't believe they're not hearing this from people. So the Republicans, they have to weigh this. Do they care about the health of every single American? Or even their constituents, even their own family, or do they just care about what Donald Trump's going to say about them or not say about them? Or maybe if you don't do what they like, maybe they'll put out a fake AI about you, as the president's been liking, tweeting out fake videos about people putting words in their mouth. So my colleagues have a choice to make. Do they care about American citizens and their health, or do they take that knee for Donald Trump?
so JD Vance, either last night or today, said, well, we'll talk to you about extending the ACA subsidies, but come back to the government first and then we'll talk to you. Why should we not buy this story? I don't recall them talking to you for the last 9 months or so about any of this.
And your point is exactly right. So, first of all, I want to say under the last administration, we called in the Republicans and we never shut down the government. We compromised, we listened, we did what we needed to do because it was so important. Now, in March, we kept the government open with the same argument, give us time. Now, by my count, that's about 6 months or so. In the meantime, they control the White House, they control the House of Representatives, and they control the Senate. So saying that we need more time to pass the bills or write the legislation, they've had 6 full months. We need more time to vote. They control the vote calendar, not us. They could have kept us on. If it was that damn important, Let's stay on the weekend and get the bills done. We could have canceled a state recess. Mike Johnson's not even bringing people back. The Republicans in the House, I don't know, they're MIA. They're not even here ready to work. That's how little they care. And so now they want to say, oh, give us 6 more weeks, and then it's another and another and another. They just want to kick the can down the road. At a certain point, they have to come to the table and listen, because they think they're just duping us. How foolish can we be to keep going 6 more weeks, 3 more months, when they've had 6 months? They control everything, and they haven't given a damn minute to bipartisan conversation.
And just to be clear, the only reason why a continuing resolution is necessary is because they didn't do their work on time. They
Right.
could have passed the appropriations bill to keep the entire government open, but they have been MIA, as you put it.
An MIA because Mike Johnson doesn't want to maybe have that vote on bringing forth the Epstein files or whatever else he doesn't want to vote on. He just sends them home. When he doesn't like something, he just sends them home. We don't know when they're coming back. The American people elected us to come here to work, and the Democrats are here to work. I know you've seen the pictures in the House of Representatives. All of them are there. There's Mike Johnson's here. He's just on TV. That's where he is. I don't see him in the chamber. He hasn't brought anybody back. And we're here to work. I want to um, work with Republicans to try to find some way to protect people's health care. We're in a healthcare crisis. There's lots of legislation. There's lots of things we can do, lots of ways we can advocate for everyone's health. And this affects everyone from, well, if you're 1 minute old to 110, everyone in between, every American, this affects us
Now,
all.
the president is now, and Mr. Voigt is now threatening, I'm going to have permanent layoffs. I'm going to lay off Democrats, or I'm going to cut government more. This seems a bit hollow, given the fact that he's been doing this all along, and also that there is something called the statutory framework for this, which permits for furloughs, but not really for permanent layoffs. Has that threat made any difference, do you think, to Democrats, or they just kind of roll their eyes at this?
Well, this is a president who ran on being a retribution, who runs on threats every day, who just look at his tweets, look at what he says. You don't have to believe me. Just look at his words and actions every single day. It's all written out there in Project 2025. So if you think if he thinks he can just continue to do this, when all we're asking is to have a discussion about everyone's health care. I want to say every American's health care, because suddenly these notices are going to start going out. When you re-enroll, you have to know what your plan's going to be, and your employer, all of those different things. So it's all going to roll out in the next month or so. And um, people are going to be hurt. People are going to lose their care. People are going to start cutting their medications in half, wondering what they're going to do if, God forbid, something happens to them or their family. And if he were a real leader, like he said in 2011 and 2013, it's the president's fault if there's a shutdown. A real leader brings people in the room and he likes to say, makes the deal. Mr. President, come and do something. Just do something. Hear us out. I like the new President Trump to listen to the 2011, 2013 Donald Trump and follow those guidelines he set for himself, that it's the president's responsibility to keep the government open.
I want you to put your hat on from the Senate Armed Services Committee. For reasons that I still don't quite understand, Pete Hegseth called 800 or so of our top military officials from all over the globe. Some estimates say $6 million, some others say higher, to bring them all there. He then kind of berated them, and then the president made comments to the effect that they should prepare for the war from the enemy from within and use our cities as training grounds. As head of the armed services, what was your reaction, or as someone on the armed services rather, what was your reaction to this?
Well, I will tell you that I've been so honored to be on armed services, both when I was in the House and now in the Senate. I'm also on Senate Foreign Relations Committee. I'm ranking member in cybersecurity and counterterrorism committees, as well as others. And it is an honor to do that and to work alongside men and women in the military to think about how we protect and defend our country, our nation, how we do it with strength and empathy. And that Pete Hegg says, first of all, they're worried about wasting money. I would have doged this business trip because what do you say, 6, 8, 10 million? Okay, too much money. That's a waste. That could go somewhere very important. And what does it do to our readiness to have all of the heads of every single command and their assistants traveling to be in one place? Do you think Russia, China, North Korea, other Iran, they're not watching? And they're away from where their home command. So God forbid something happens. Well, how fast do they get there? How is leadership in place? What do they need to do? And so this is entirely wrong. Our men and women in uniform, they work hard. They're proud Americans. They sign on that dotted line, them and their families. And for anyone to look out uh, to at those generals and all the assistants and talk to everyone that they are not fit enough, that they're not uh, well, he didn't never use the word empathy, but I'm going to say you have to be strong and have caring and empathy. That's the way leaders lead. He looks out there. Last time I checked, the commander in chief is no Slim Jim, and I don't know what kind of mirrors they got at the White House. It must be one of those carnival ones. So let's start. If fitness starts from the top, let's see Donald Trump. He's Mr. Bone Spurs too over there. How many deferments did he have? How dare he come and talk about our military like that? Talk about our cities. You're going to send American on American. The hell's wrong with them?
Were you gratified to see the reaction of the military, which was not to applaud, not to be sucked into this, but just sit there stone-faced but respectful? Is that the military that you know?
Well, I don't know if I would say gratified. I think that I am proud because our generals, all of our from our youngest enlisted to the highest ranking, when they come in, their oath is to the Constitution, to defend and protect the United States. And they do that regardless of political party and all of those other things. So it makes me proud that they sit there, they have respect, they're listening to our president, they're listening to the Secretary of Defense, but they understand their role is that my role is to protect and defend the homeland. And that's the oath that they take, and that's what they do. So I am proud of them for doing that because that is what we should all expect. That they don't say, well, I guess I'll protect this guy over here, but not you over here because I don't agree with I don't know, like whatever political position or some other thing that you might have. That's not what our military takes an oath to do. And I was very proud that they stood strong in that, um, um, in that honor that they, the honor that they serve. We all serve.
I just want to end on what's happening in Portland. The president is again deciding to deploy military, that is the National Guard, in an American city that appears to be entirely peaceful. I keep seeing pictures of sunny streets and people drinking lattes and riding their bikes.
It's fall. They're looking at the leaves. The fall in Oregon's beautiful. The leaves are turning, right? They're having a pumpkin spice over there.
Exactly. Again, the cost to the taxpayers, the inappropriate use of the military. Um, what is the Congress's view? What's the at least the Democrats' view in the Senate about this misuse, this perpetual misuse of our military?
It is misuse and abuse. I can tell you, our National Guard, they have two missions. They have usually a domestic mission. I can tell you for our Air National Guard in Nevada, one of our big missions is that firefighting on the West Coast. We fly in when those help those wildland firefighters and really try to put out those massive events, fire events that we have. And that's one of their domestic missions. So domestically, whatever state you're in, the National Guard is trained to usually help in some kind of disaster or emergency. They're there to be the helpers, if you will. And then they also train each different unit of National Guard to support our active duty military around the globe. And each one has multiple missions there. They're training to be ready for that deployment or be called on a moment's notice. When you do this, this is not their mission to go parade down the street. We've had them here in Washington. They're not trained for that. They're members of the community. They're not trained to go after local people. They're not law enforcement. It's taking them away from their readiness, either for natural disasters that we see, hurricanes, floods, wildfires, things happen all the time, or God forbid something happens overseas, then they're not ready for their mission. So this is irresponsible. It makes us less safe, and it puts our National Guard in a place that they never signed up to be in. They signed up to be domestic helpers, if you will. We help put out the wildfire. We help when there's something terrible. We deliver the food, deliver the aid, whatever those things are. They signed up for these missions. And so I know that our National Guard, I'm proud of them. I know so many of them, especially in Nevada, really well. I'm there all the time, proud of their work. They're proud of it. And I wouldn't put words in their mouth, but I think it's heavy on their heart and certainly an impact to their readiness that they would have to go into an American city that is clearly not burning down to do this kind of a mission. So I just think it's absolutely horrific. It's out of bounds, uncalled for, and in every way makes us less safe as a country.
Well, I suspect that in the privacy of their own room or maybe in the cloakroom, many of your Republicans do not disagree with anything that you have said here. And it is simply that their lack of spine and their fidelity to this president, who's obviously very unhinged, is preventing them from acting as they should. After all, Article 1, you guys are the first branch of government.
Lest we not forget it. That's what I keep saying. I will stand up for our Article 1 right. Stand up. You believe so much in the Constitution. We're number one. Congress is number one. Power of the purse, it's ours. Stand up for the Constitution. That's what makes our country great. Presidents come and go, senators, congresspeople. Human life is short. We're just but a blink, right? But the Constitution, 250 years, democracy, our values, our ideas, that is the thread that binds us all. We are not perfect. We strive to be better. We strive to fix things. We go one way or the other way. That's okay. That's why there's three branches. It was designed in that way. So I would tell everyone, just stand up for the Constitution. And there's no king. There's none of that. Debate is great. Free speech. You know what? Democracy is messy. It's like a wonderful buffet at Thanksgiving. It's a messy dinner table. Everybody's talking, everyone's eating, everyone's sharing. You can even argue with your aunt who likes one baseball team, or it was football season, one football team, you like the other. But I wouldn't have it any other way, because that's all of that together is what makes our country so special.
I don't think you can be said any better than that. Thank you, as always, Senator. Thank you for sticking it out. You're at work, even though the Democrats may be alone. They are not in any way delayed or deferred from their duties. So thank you. And thank you once again for taking time for us. We really appreciate it. We'll look forward to having you back soon.
I will be glad to. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.